What has happened to MicroStrategy? Okay. I don't know. Let's talk. Well, anyway, so let's go back to the video that I did maybe a week ago. And the title was "There's no free lunch on Wall Street." Okay. You all remember what happened to MicroStrategy that single day, right? When Bitcoin was like at 98,000, it hit a high of 540. The same day, it went down to 370. And then it jumped back to about 430 because of the inclusion in the triple Qs. And then, where is MicroStrategy? Today's low on MicroStrategy is almost 300. 540, somebody bought 540 to 300, down 40%. Oh, okay. Is game over for MicroStrategy? I don't know. I don't think so. However, if you did buy it at 540, you're in all kinds of hurt, right? And especially if you bought those 2x ETFs, you are in massive trouble, right? I mean, your losses are 80% because MicroStrategy going down 40%. The other ones went down 80%. But is game over for MicroStrategy? No, not at all. That's why I don't trade Bitcoin. But MicroStrategy moves dollar for dollar with Bitcoin. And there's a lot of news out there now that they call it a crash. What happened when it went above 100? Did they name something for that? What crash are we talking about? Bitcoin hit 107,000 this morning. It came down to 92, and it's already at 97. So Bitcoin going down 10% is a crash? I love the mainstream media when they put these knucklehead headlines out. Bitcoin crashes below 100,000 amid massive liquidations after Fed's hawkish rate cut. Look how many oxymorons in there in that sentence. After Fed's hawkish rate cut. How can a rate cut be hawkish? I don't understand these people. And they do write stuff, and then sometimes I read it and I chuckle out of it, get a chuckle out of it. So, but I have talked to you all about something called very, very, very important thing called mNAV. M as in Mary, NAV. mNAV stands for multiple of net asset value premium. All right. So Bitcoin, MicroStrategy holds 400 and close to 40,000 Bitcoin. Let's say Bitcoin is at 100,000, okay, which it is close. That's $44 billion. All right. MicroStrategy as an existing entity, all right, is a company producing earnings. Not really. They have one software. It's kind of struggling. They've been losing money with it. But let's say the enterprise value of MicroStrategy is 10 billion outside their Bitcoin holdings. So now we're at 54 billion. Let's call it 55 billion. Let's be really generous. What the legacy software that they're selling, what the enterprise value of MicroStrategy is outside their Bitcoin holdings. All right. So let's call it 55 billion. Well, as of at 540, when MicroStrategy was at 540, the company's value was being valued at 135 billion. That's called the mNAV, multiplier to net asset value premium. That's the premium that the market was putting on. Well, I did a great video, explained it all. There is no free lunch on Wall Street. So what did Wall Street figure out? Okay, so when the mNAV went up to 3.5 times of their Bitcoin holders, Wall Street said, okay, that's enough of this. They came and pounded MicroStrategy, shorted MicroStrategy. If you look at it, Bitcoin still is at 98,000, exactly where it was at 540. So when Bitcoin was at 98,000, MicroStrategy was at 540. This morning, Bitcoin is 98,000, MicroStrategy is almost 300. See what's happening? You guys see these two charts, right? This is the historical mNAV or NAV premium over their Bitcoin holdings. This is the historical one, but this is the short-term one, the second one down here. You guys see this little spike here? That's 3.5 right here. This is 3 on the left scale is 3. It got up to about 3.5. So I put a video out. I explain all this to you all so you guys can benefit from this part of the education and information. Whenever it gets to 3.5, you got to sell MicroStrategy, or you got to short MicroStrategy. You got to do whatever you need to do. Okay. We're not trading Bitcoin. But I figured I'm a buyer of MicroStrategy and all its derivatives when it gets down to about 1.5 to 1.7 mNAV. Guess we're at 300 today, what mNAV was, people, and what I did, of course. I'm trading the derivatives, the 2x ETFs. Well, let's figure that out. MicroStrategy's value at 300. By the way, MicroStrategy has 240 million shares outstanding. So how do you figure out the market capitalization of a company? You take 240 million, multiply times 300. Well, that's about 75 billion. Okay, 75 billion. Their Bitcoin holdings are 45 billion. With the enterprise value is 55 billion. 75 billion divided into 45 billion is right about 1.7. And when it gets down there, you buy MicroStrategy, you buy the 2x ETFs, wherever that is. When it gets to 2.5, 3, too rich for my blood. I don't think we'll ever see 3.5 again because Wall Street figured out the game. There's no free lunch there. So this morning, I'll show you guys my positions. I've been selling puts on, selling premium on MSTU, which had a 10-for-1 split, but that's not the point. And I want to own MSTU. That's why I'm selling the puts. Actually, I hope I get put 3,000, 4,000 shares of MSTU. But this is the game. So Bitcoin stayed at 98,000. It had a little bit of a fluctuation, okay? So 107 to 92 to 98. But if you look at Bitcoin price over the last 2 weeks, it's 98,000, almost pegged there. What is MicroStrategy doing? MicroStrategy is moving up and down, right? Well, at last time 98,540, this time 98,000, almost 300. You guys need to start learning and watching about that mNAV or multiplier to net asset value. 3.5, super rich. 1.5 to 1.7, bring it. You guys open your hands and start buying MicroStrategy and the ETFs. Again, none of this is financial or trading advice, but I think I'm giving you guys some clues of how to read the tea leaves when it comes to, MicroStrategy and how to trade the MicroStrategy. Do not trade Bitcoin. I mean, there are people who are doing it. Do not trade Bitcoin, okay? Leave Bitcoin alone. Just buy it on an exchange. Put it on your cold wallet, move on. Every time you buy, if you want to sell it, put it back on the exchange, sell it, and get your fiat currency out. Why would anybody do that? I have no idea. Okay, I have now it's up to 12% of my wealth in Bitcoin, because when I bought it, it was like 4% of my wealth. Now, because the price has gone up, now it's up to 12%. I'm never going to sell Bitcoin, ever. Now, I'm not one of those hodlers or whatever they call themselves, YOLO or whatever. No, I believe in it because I believe that the US government's hurting me. I believe the only way I can protect myself is through Bitcoin because it's a finite asset.